Hey folks, welcome back to another miserable day on the farm. Today we're going to finish that fencing. I've got a bit of help. Phil, my brother's come up for the day, so we're hopefully going to get all these little stretches of netting up and a bit of strimming done. But it is rainy, the tyres on the truck aren't particularly clever, and we've got a flood warning. So could be a day of getting stuck. And the Met Office have promised me it's going to stop raining in half an hour. Right, we're back on it. We managed to get all the prep done in the hedges, so that's all the trimming's done. These posts are piloted in, but the priority is getting the hedge line fencing done because that's all part of the pastoral land. This is our bonus bit. So we just put out this wire here, which will be our guide, keeping it pretty tight to the hedge. And we're just going to put a turner post kind of about halfway up basically to just keep it in rather than lose too much from here. The hedge is nice and wide. We're about 2.4 meters anyway. The good news is we're back on the technology rather than the muscle power. So post bangers down there in the hedge somewhere. We've got the post driver back. This is actually a new one. The higher one that they sent before has gone back in to get serviced, and we've got all the different sizes we need. I kept back the ones from the last one. In actual fact, they sent more again, so plenty of options, but this is about the size we're looking for. So I think that's the smallest size, so if we ever need to use tree stakes, that's the one we'll use. This one is the one we were using last time. Don't know if there's a number on there. Number 7. For those of you who didn't see the track fencing video, we're going the same method for this. So we haven't got the big tractor. The tractor's been and done the big posts, so we're all good at the corners. I made up the strainers, did that in the last video. Today it's all about using the petrol post knocker. We're piloting using this old bale spike, which has worked really well in the past. So we're going to get that in. That holds the post nice and straight as we're knocking them in with the petrol knocker. And that is the plan. So these ones are already done, but Phil's just setting these ones out. We're going for about 3 paces, 3 meters-ish. You can go further with this high tensile, but I think 3 is a good kind of middle ground.
You're going in as deep as that.
So I know it's not a race, but we thought we'd show you how with 2 people in real time, rather than just sped up time lapse, how quick it can be done, because I'm pretty sure this is quicker than moving the tractor each time, and it's not that much more effort. Now when you're demonstrating a tool like this, showing a new technique or just generally giving an idea of how effective something is, there's no good just showing you time lapses and sped up footage of it in use like I just have earlier in this video. What I thought I'd do is show you live time or real time how long this takes to drive in a stake. These are 6 foot or 1.8 meter stakes, and we're driving them 2 feet into the ground. That's pretty standard for a field intermediate stake for this sort of fencing, and you could either be using a post banger just by knocking them in by hand, pretty quick, probably in this ground as quick, but of course if you're 100 posts in, you're going to be feeling it. This thing doesn't weigh too much, and actually once it's up, you're only just leaning a bit of weight down onto it. You're not using strength as such. So it was far easier from that respect than trying to knock these in by hand. This run here is, I think, 12 posts from what I can count, maybe 13. And this bit of footage, I will speed it up in a second, don't worry. This bit of footage is 6.5, 7 minutes long. So that gives you an idea of how long they take. Now we've gone ahead already and laid out where they're going to be, just like we would if we were using the tractor. And I've also piloted with the bale spike to give it a bit of a starter. That's especially important if this was really hard ground. This isn't particularly hard ground. It's not super soft like it would be down the bottom, but that hole does help give it a good start and also keep it relatively straight. Now of course all of this phase of fencing we're using Robinia, which is notoriously banana-like and quite rustic, and what that means is we are picking the flattest face to be where our wire's going to be stood up against, and then you just have to eyeball it some of the time. If we were using machined softwood posts, then yes, they would go in really straight, or we would need them to go in really straight and it'd be easier to get a level on them. But then again, they might rot off in 5 to 10 years time, and I'd much rather this lasts a good few decades if possible. 2 people, we found, works better. I did the other side of the track solo, but actually if you've got 2 people, one person can be checking how plumb the stake is and checking how high it is, you know, when we need to stop that driver, and the other person can be operating the machine. If you were using a tractor, the most efficient way to do it is to have one person in the cab and one person at the knocker. So in some respects it's not using any more or any less labour, but as far as speed goes, I don't think the tractor would be that much quicker. When you're on a straight run like this, we can put the tractor at one end and back down the line with one person in the cab, one person on the knocker, and it can be quite quick because you're not constantly repositioning the tractor. Some areas where you're trying to back up into a hedge, or if there's a bank or a ditch, every single post requires the tractor to be moved, you know, turned and then backed back in again. And I think in that situation, this would be quicker. So we haven't had to mess around with a big heavy tractor on the track, fortunately, because it is sloppy. But when we move into the next field and we've got a bit of a clear run at things, I think we'll be using Tom's tractor and we'll hopefully be able to get around the majority of it with that. But I've always got this as my fallback option, especially in and around trees, when I'm going under the trees, and where I just simply don't want the tractor to go because it's going to churn up and make a right mess. Right, let's speed up this bit here. We'll finish off this run and then we'll carry on with the wire. Just 2 which are a bit fatter. So I'll put this side on, it just catches a bigger post. Alright, that is all the posts in on all 4 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4 runs. Lunchtime now, and then hopefully when we get back we'll be able to pull all the netting out. We're going to try and bring back one of those big 250 metre rolls, just in case we're short, and because there's 2 of us we can probably manhandle it a bit easier. But there we go, productive morning. Right, we're back. We're going to get this one strained. We've also brought the big roll down if we need it. We're going to try and use up what we've got already. So we're going to use the clamp. We've got the pulley, the chain pulley, and we've also got the kind of wire rope winch, hand winch, like last time. Roll it through and out the way. Yeah, stand him up and then on here. Oh, actually, it works really well. The top one's just like a hand winch.
Yeah, this one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only thing is it only pulls 3 meters, whereas this you're doing a 6 meter pull.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That can help. Let's get a few more pulls on it, and then we'll go up the middle way. Yeah, you can pull over. Right, first one is in. We're just getting ready around this end strainer here. We just can't pull the bottom tight enough to tie it off, and we realise there's a big old mound outside rabbit holes up there, which is just humping up the bottom wires. Right, truck's back in action. We managed to get it up onto the track. So what we're going to do now is get the 2 short ones done, and the bonus will be getting the right hand side of the track done, but that really is a bonus. So we battled on into the afternoon and managed to get the end part of this triangle paddock done. Unfortunately, it wasn't down to time or effort, it's simply the light. Having these really dark evenings, this is back in December, just drawing in so quickly, we were just up against it. So we only really managed to get one section done, or 2 in total, but one section at the end here, which leaves me to just finish off the other little bit, and then I will work back along the track in my own time. There's no real rush for that. I wanted to complete the perimeter of this field. The other bit will just simply divide it off from the track. So that's not the most important part. The most important part is getting everything done around the outside, getting a gate hung, and then we can move on to the field next door, which is the lake field. That is the final piece of the jigsaw in our big fencing mission since we bought the farm, and that is basically what's going to be going on for the next week or 2, and there's a whole host of videos on the way for that. They include both Tom with his tractor doing some of the work, and also me slogging it out during the weekdays trying to get this net out. We've got over 1 kilometre to finish off, and then we will be all fenced in. I'll leave a link down below to the driver tool that we were using there, but we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time.